Welcome along, fellow time travelers. As you know, our British friends are currently navigating some challenging times. Over the years, countless British friends have shared with me that Americans, like me, often hold a deep admiration and enthusiasm for their nation that far surpasses their own. That kinda caught me off guard, and it was sad to hear, because it should not be that way. They deserve to love their country and its history, and perhaps we can help by exploring the roots of our own affection and the ties that bind our two nations. And let's try to figure out why Americans yearn for Britain to remain the idyllic version of itself that has shaped their fascinating upbringing and their cultural identity. Before I begin, please like and share the show and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now let's begin our journey. Are you like me? Have you spent countless hours of your life daydreaming of traveling back in time and visiting England, Wales, Scotland, and Ireland? Yeah, you probably have. You see, Americans have long held a deep affection for British history, architecture, literature, and art. A fascination woven into the fabric of our cultural imagination. From the cobblestone streets of Dickensian London to the grandeur of Buckingham Palace and the mysterious histories of its fabulous castles. Millions of Americans have daydreamed about a Britain that embodies tradition, refinement, and timelessness. The historical ties between the United States and Britain form the foundation of this fascination. As we all know, the United States was born from British colonial roots, with the earliest settlers bringing English language, law, and customs to the New World. The Magna Carta, English common law, and parliamentary traditions influenced the U.S. Constitution and Bill of Rights, embedding a shared sense of governance and individual liberty. Even after the Revolutionary War severed political ties, cultural and intellectual bonds endured. Americans, while fiercely independent, don't you know, never fully divorced ourselves from our British heritage. Our shared history fosters a sense of kinship, as if Britain represents an ancestral home, a place where the American story began. British literature has been a powerful conduit for this affection, shaping American imaginations from childhood. Classics like Beowulf, Shakespeare's plays, Jane Austen's novels, and the Bronte sisters' Gothic tales are staples in American classrooms. Not to mention Oscar Wilde and Bram Stoker, and the list is endless, introducing American readers to a world of eloquent language, complex characters, and evocative settings. Charles Dickens' vivid depictions of Victorian England, with its foggy streets and bustling markets, create a tangible sense of place that feels both foreign and familiar. Modern works, from J.R.R. Tolkien's Middle-earth to J.K. Rowling's Hogwarts, further cement Britain as a land of storytelling magic. For Americans, these narratives are not just entertainment, but a portal to a culture perceived as rich, storied, and enduringly sophisticated. British architecture also captivates American hearts, symbolizing history and grandeur. The soaring spires of Gothic cathedrals like Westminster Abbey, the stately elegance of Georgian townhouses, and the picturesque charm of Cotswold cottages evoke a sense of permanence that contrasts with America's relatively youthful urban landscape. Americans marvel at structures that have stood for centuries, from medieval castles to Palladian mansions, seeing them as tangible links to a past that the British get to claim as part of their heritage. You may have noticed that American cities often mimic British styles. Think of the neo-Gothic buildings on college campuses, or the Georgian-inspired homes in New England, reflecting a desire to capture that sense of timelessness. Art too plays a role in this cultural romance. The works of British artists like J.M.W. Turner with his luminous landscapes, or the pre-Raphaelites with their vivid romantic imagery, resonate with Americans who see in them a celebration of beauty and tradition. British art, often tied to historical or literary themes, aligns with the American fascination with a past that feels both accessible and aspirational. Museums in the U.S. proudly display British works, and exhibitions of British art draw crowds, signaling a shared appreciation for a culture that feels like an extension of our own. The ties that bind our two nations go beyond history and culture to shared values and language. And don't even get me started on music. Talking about the Beatles and the Rolling Stones and the Kinks and so many others alone can be an entire video unto itself, and maybe it will be. You see, the English language, a gift from Britain, is the most obvious connector, enabling Americans to engage directly with British literature, media, and discourse. Shared democratic ideals, a commitment to individual freedoms, and a history of alliance in global conflicts, most notably World War II, further strengthen this bond. The special relationship between the U.S. and Britain, a term coined by Winston Churchill, by the way, underscores a partnership rooted in mutual respect and shared goals. For Americans, Britain represents a cultural anchor, a nation that, despite its flaws, embodies a certain dignity and resilience. Growing up in America, this vision of Britain is woven into our everyday lives. From watching BBC adaptations on PBS to reading C.S. Lewis or Agatha Christie, Americans are raised with a steady diet of British culture. Afternoon tea, though not a widespread practice in America, is romanticized as a refined ritual, and British accents, no matter where they are from, are often associated with intelligence and charm.
And that's when old Gwillem said, "Well, I'll be a sheep's uncle."
Aye, he did.
Oh, the look on his face.
Movies and TV shows like Downton Abbey or The Crown reinforce an image of Britain as a land of elegance, tradition, and history. Even American children's games, like pretending to be knights in a medieval castle or sipping imaginary tea at a royal ball, reflect a daydream of a Britain that feels both fantastical and familiar. This romanticized vision explains why Americans want Britain to remain the Great Britain of our imaginations. The idealized Britain, quaint villages, rolling green hills, and a monarchy steeped in pageantry, represents stability in a rapidly changing world. For Americans, who live in a nation defined by reinvention and progress, Britain's apparent preservation of their own traditions offers a comforting counterpoint. You see, when the British modernize too quickly or face social and political upheavals like all that's going on there right now, it risks disrupting this cherished image.
I lost my job last week.
This country is crumbling.
More than that, we really don't want to see the British people unhappy. It's not right, and it's not fair, to them or to us, but especially them. They have earned the right to be happy in the world around them that they and their ancestors built, fought for, and have lovingly maintained. Americans, aware of our own nation's struggles with division and change, often project onto Britain a hope that it can maintain the qualities that we admire: resilience, refinement, bravery, and a connection to the past. Yet this affection is not without complexity. The American love for Britain can sometimes gloss over historical tensions and ignore modern Britain's challenges. Let's be honest, shall we? The Britain of American daydreams is often a curated, nostalgic version, more Jane Austen than urban multiculturalism. Still, this does not diminish the sincerity of our affection. Americans want a Britain that can manage how to balance its rich heritage with the demands of the present, preserving the essence of what makes Britain so beloved to us. And that is why so many of us are sending waves of positivity and encouragement to our cousins across the pond. On the off chance that they forgot or never knew, we want to remind them of the extraordinary qualities that many of us see and adore in their remarkable country. It's worth fighting for. It's worth preserving. It's worth loving. The American fascination with British history, architecture, music, literature, and art, and so much more stems from our shared heritage, our love for storytelling, our sense of justice and fairness, and an endless admiration for their many family and community-oriented traditions. These elements, and so many more, have shaped American childhoods and have fueled a lifelong affection for Britain that continues to captivate the imagination of millions of us, their American cousins. So, what do you think of England and Wales and Scotland and Ireland? Have you ever been to any of them? If not, do you have any plans to go? If you're rolling in dough, would you live in London? Once upon a time? You know I would. Please share your thoughts about what you think of the United Kingdom today and what you thought about it while growing up, and what you think the future holds for Great Britain. What do you think it'll be like in the future? I really want to know, so please do share your thoughts in the comments below. Kindly remember to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the notification bell. Please check out the links below to learn how to support my research and productions. This channel is sponsored by CampfireShop.com. Do me a favor and check them out and buy some awesome candles, herbal supplements, teas, and more. That's right, I said teas. We've got teas, all sorts of awesome teas. Sure, you could drink coffee like an American, or you could drink some tea like our British friends. Come on, head on over to CampfireShop.com and buy a bunch of teas. I'd really appreciate it. Kindly be kind to all of our fellow Earthlings and please do not harm them. And do yourself a favor and go to a local shelter and adopt a cat or a dog or both. You and they will be very glad that you did. Until next time, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.